Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday, and the good news for Gunners supporters is the boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad following a month on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Ricardo Calafiori is also expected to return, but the game will come too soon for Jurrien Timber. Elsewhere in football, and Championship club West Brom have been docked 2 points for breaching EFL profit and sustainability rules, and it means the Baggies are not yet safe from relegation. The deduction has seen them move to within 6 points of the relegation zone with 2 matches left to play. They can ensure their survival if they avoid defeat against promotion-chasing Ipswich on Saturday. Their final game of the season is away to bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, and in snooker, Shaun Murphy is the first player through to this year's World Championship quarter-finals at the Crucible after he won his second round match against Zhao Guodong 13-3 and with a session to spare. Murphy is a former winner in Sheffield after lifting the trophy in 2005, and he has also been a runner-up on 3 occasions in 2009, 2015 and 2021. Elsewhere, and in Formula 1, the Turkish Grand Prix is set to return to the sports calendar from 2027 for the first time in 6 years. The race will take place at Istanbul Park Circuit, and it will be on the calendar until at least 2031. The Turkish Grand Prix was originally part of F1 between 2005 to 2011. It then dropped off the schedule, only to return for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, when F1 needed venues to fill the calendar during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most famously, the track was where Lewis Hamilton clinched his record-equaling 7th World Drivers' title back in 2021. Finally, in golf, Jim Furyk is the favourite to become the Team USA captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in Ireland. If he does so, Furyk will become only the 4th US captain to have led the team on multiple occasions since 1979. He is set to succeed Keegan Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday, and the good news for Gunners supporters is the boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad following a month on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Ricardo Calafiori is also expected to return, but the game will come too soon for Jurrien Timber. Elsewhere in football, and Championship club West Brom have been docked 2 points for breaching EFL profit and sustainability rules, and it means the Baggies are not yet safe from relegation. The deduction has seen them move to within 6 points of the relegation zone with 2 matches left to play. They can ensure their survival if they avoid defeat against promotion-chasing Ipswich on Saturday. Their final game of the season is away to bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, and in snooker, Shaun Murphy is the first player through to this year's World Championship quarter-finals at the Crucible after he won his second round match against Zhao Guodong 13-3 and with a session to spare. Murphy is a former winner in Sheffield after lifting the trophy in 2005, and he has also been a runner-up on 3 occasions in 2009, 2015 and 2021. Elsewhere, and in Formula 1, the Turkish Grand Prix is set to return to the sports calendar from 2027 for the first time in 6 years. The race will take place at Istanbul Park Circuit, and it will be on the calendar until at least 2031. The Turkish Grand Prix was originally part of F1 between 2005 to 2011. It then dropped off the schedule, only to return for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, when F1 needed venues to fill the calendar during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most famously, the track was where Lewis Hamilton clinched his record-equalling 7th World Drivers' title back in 2021. Finally, in golf, Jim Furyk is the favourite to become the Team USA captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in Ireland. If he does so, Furyk will become only the 4th US captain to have led the team on multiple occasions since 1979. He is set to succeed Keegan Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday. And the good news for Gunners supporters is that boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad following a month on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Ricardo Calafiori is also expected to return, but the game will come too soon for Jurrien Timber. Elsewhere in football, and Championship club West Brom have been docked 2 points for breaching EFL profit and sustainability rules, and it means the Baggies are not yet safe from relegation. The deduction has seen them move to within 6 points of the relegation zone with 2 matches left to play. They can ensure their survival if they avoid defeat against promotion-chasing Ipswich on Saturday. Their final game of the season is away to bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, and in snooker, Shaun Murphy is the first player through to this year's World Championship quarter-finals at the Crucible after he won his second round match against Zhao Guodong 13-3 and with a session to spare. Murphy is a former winner in Sheffield after lifting the trophy in 2005, and he has also been a runner-up on 3 occasions in 2009, 2015 and 2021. Elsewhere, and in Formula 1, the Turkish Grand Prix is set to return to the sports calendar from 2027 for the first time in 6 years. The race will take place at Istanbul Park Circuit, and it will be on the calendar until at least 2031. The Turkish Grand Prix was originally part of F1 between 2005 to 2011. It then dropped off the schedule, only to return for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, when F1 needed venues to fill the calendar during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most famously, The track was where Lewis Hamilton clinched his record-equalling 7th World Drivers' title back in 2021. Finally, in golf, Jim Furyk is the favourite to become the Team USA captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in Ireland. If he does so, Furyk will become only the 4th US captain to have led the team on multiple occasions since 1979. He is set to succeed Keegan Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday. And the good news for Gunners supporters is the boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad following a month on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Ricardo Calafiori is also expected to return, but the game will come too soon for Jurrien Timber. Elsewhere in football, and Championship club West Brom have been docked 2 points for breaching EFL profit and sustainability rules, and it means the Baggies are not yet safe from relegation. The deduction has seen them move to within 6 points of the relegation zone with 2 matches left to play. They can ensure their survival if they avoid defeat against promotion-chasing Ipswich on Saturday. Their final game of the season is away to bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, and in snooker, Shaun Murphy is the first player through to this year's World Championship quarter-finals at the Crucible after he won his second round match against Zhao Guodong 13-3 and with a session to spare. Murphy is a former winner in Sheffield after lifting the trophy in 2005, and he has also been a runner-up on 3 occasions in 2009, 2015 and 2021. Elsewhere, and in Formula 1, the Turkish Grand Prix is set to return to the sports calendar from 2027 for the first time in 6 years. The race will take place at Istanbul Park Circuit, and it will be on the calendar until at least 2031. The Turkish Grand Prix was originally part of F1 between 2005 to 2011. It then dropped off the schedule, only to return for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, when F1 needed venues to fill the calendar during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most famously, the track was where Lewis Hamilton clinched his record-equalling 7th World Drivers' title back in 2021. Finally, in golf, Jim Furyk is the favourite to become the Team USA captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in Ireland. If he does so, Furyk will become only the 4th US captain to have led the team on multiple occasions since 1979. He is set to succeed Keegan Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday. And the good news for Gunners supporters is the boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad following a month on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Ricardo Calafiori is also expected to return, but the game will come too soon for Jurrien Timber. Elsewhere in football, and Championship club West Brom have been docked 2 points for breaching EFL profit and sustainability rules, and it means the Baggies are not yet safe from relegation. The deduction has seen them move to within 6 points of the relegation zone with 2 matches left to play. They can ensure their survival if they avoid defeat against promotion-chasing Ipswich on Saturday. Their final game of the season is away to bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, and in snooker, Shaun Murphy is the first player through to this year's World Championship quarter-finals at the Crucible after he won his second round match against Zhao Guodong 13-3 and with a session to spare. Murphy is a former winner in Sheffield after lifting the trophy in 2005, and he has also been a runner-up on 3 occasions in 2009, 2015 and 2021. Elsewhere, and in Formula 1, the Turkish Grand Prix is set to return to the sports calendar from 2027 for the first time in 6 years. The race will take place at Istanbul Park Circuit, and it will be on the calendar until at least 2031. The Turkish Grand Prix was originally part of F1 between 2005 to 2011. It then dropped off the schedule, only to return for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, when F1 needed venues to fill the calendar during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most famously, the track was where Lewis Hamilton clinched his record-equaling 7th World Drivers' title back in 2021. Finally, in golf, Jim Furyk is the favourite to become the Team USA captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in Ireland. If he does so, Furyk will become only the 4th US captain to have led the team on multiple occasions since 1979. He is set to succeed Keegan Bradley, having previously captained the team in 2018. He's also acted as a vice-captain on 4 further occasions. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Here are your latest sport headlines. I'm Tom McGarry, and we begin with tennis as big news. Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending champion, says he will miss next month's French Open because of the wrist injury he sustained at the recent Barcelona Open. He picked up the problem when winning in the first round of that tournament before subsequently withdrawing, and further tests have now revealed the severity of the issue, and he will be forced to sit out the Italian Open and then the second Grand Slam of the year. Alcaraz has said it is a difficult time for him, but he is determined that he will come back stronger. Elsewhere, and in football, Arsenal can return to the top of the Premier League if they get a positive result against Newcastle on Saturday. And the good news for Gunners supporters is the boss Mikel Arteta has confirmed Bukayo Saka will be in the matchday squad.
It was a terrible ball out from the back, wasn't it? Was it Siddiqui? I'm not sure it was.
Yeah.
But he and then he apologised. Yeah, you might. Well, that could easily have been a goal. I'm not sure what they could have done better there. Fortunately, just they were taken by surprise.
Hutchison, I think, maybe could have just played that ball in a little bit quicker, but he's going to be taking the corner kick now. Yeah,
so an opportunity then from the right, left-footed in, swinging to the far post, headed away by Big Dan Ballard. Then a shot comes in, and that's fizzed it wide. In the end, Nico Williams caught hold of it well enough, but he seemed to shoot the way he was pointing, which unfortunately for him wasn't at goal.
No, it was being closed down as well, so he had to rush it a little bit. Rigg was getting closer to him, so that just caused him to just shift his body slightly. But he's a right-footer shooting from the left-hand side, so the angles were against him a little bit anyway. But Sunderland still playing out from the back and putting themselves under pressure straight away.
Well, this time Habib Diarra's opportunity to just make a little bit of a mess, but now Granit Xhaka, who's more steady, picks the ball up, and as ever a decent ball from him, although a good challenge from Nico Williams. Last time I saw Nico Williams, he played really well. He he almost looked like their best outlet for scoring a goal as well. He's mad keen to be involved and do well. I think he's having a good season. Seems to have cemented his place in this team. Takes the throw and he goes back. And Cunha gets the ball out with his feet. Oh, it's not a good pass. He's actually a good passer of the ball, Jair Cunha. Big lad in the 6'6" and in for Murillo. He's not quite as good a passer as him, I don't think, but you know,
he's having a tough time of it this season. He's made a couple of really sort of glaring errors, and of course, it's not just him that has struggles for form with Forest being in the league position that they're in. But considering what he was spoken about for Real Madrid last season, he hasn't really quite kicked on this year.
No, it's right, and somebody who burst onto the scene for Brazil as well. He'd be thinking, well, it's a World Cup year, you never know, but the form hadn't been great. Anyway, the likes of David Luiz playing for Brazil before, so at least at the back it's a little bit easier to get into, I guess. But anyway, here come Sunderland. Little layoff looking for Trahim, doesn't find him, but they do find another Springer. So an opportunity for Enzo Lafayette, who's down the left-hand side. He goes back to Siddiqui, and they will get it out of his feet. They're happy to go backwards and recycle the ball. I can't say I'm in love with this Sunderland team this season. I'm sure a few of you listening and be Sunderland fans who will have back tomorrow or what have you. I think there's an awful lot of gamesmanship going on with them when I've seen them play and all that. I would say they're a very pragmatic sort of team.
They are, but I mean, I don't know if any Premier League team stands out as being sort of above that. I mean, it's a trait of professional footballers, in my opinion, these days, that they're always going to try and get a little edge here and there. But I mean, from Sunderland's point of view, I think if you're a newly promoted team and you can find yourself in the top half of the season or close to the top half of the season with 3 or 4 games to go, then I think you must be doing something right.
Oh yeah, they're definitely doing things right, and they've got good players, haven't they? Big fan of Brobby. He just chests the ball back to Enzo Lafayette, gets it back, nods it back to him. A good bit of interplay there. There's a play down for Sunderland, and I think they'll. Well, they haven't got rid of the ball. They should do, really. The referee should have.
Siddiqui's down, and it's almost like the referee's taken the decision out of Sunderland's hands because they were on the attack. So Darren England didn't want to stop play, but then eventually the ball was just rolled all the way back towards the halfway line, and the Black Cats still weren't putting it out of play. So the referee deciding. I mean, has he just twisted his ankle there? I'm just trying to see.
I think it's his hand. He got trod on.
Oh yes, he did. He did, yeah. And it's Sangare who's just trod on him there, completely accidental, but. Yeah, you're going to know that, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, do you know, he's not disguising that, it really hurts. You've got the full weight of Sangare.
Sangare is one of the biggest players on the field of all the people to do it.
Well, you wouldn't pick him, would you? If I want somebody to tread on my hand, it's not going to be him, but it was. So, yeah, that's gonna. I'd be crying, I'd be off. But anyway, they made a sterner stuff, aren't they? Here comes Sunderland down their right-hand side, an opportunity. I noticed Chris Rigg scored last time in their big goal bonanza against Villa. They came out the wrong side of that, 4-3, didn't they? But clearly,
it's a really good goal as well.
Yeah, played well. He'd gone very quiet in his career, but here they come. Mukiele trying to get the cross in. It sort of deflected up in the air, but it didn't come back to them. Just having a bit of a spell on top now, the Black Cats, and camera lingers on Chris Rigg, who I can still call him young Chris Rigg, can't I?
Yes, absolutely. I think sadly everyone on the pitch this evening we can call young, whoever they are. But no, I mean, as far as Rigg's concerned, he has had a good season. I think, as you say, has just got a bit quiet. But then Sunderland have gone a bit quiet in the last couple of months. Their form has just tailed off, picking up now at just the right time. And here they go with Lafayette.
And the effort comes in from Chris Rigg. It's straight to the hand to the keeper, and he makes a bit of a mess of it. But in the end, he gets it back in. Matt Sells came to him. There was no great conviction on that shot. He started offside, and then Milenkovic is playing everybody on. I think the two centre-backs, they need to work out what they're doing here.
They do. I mean, it's not a good effort from Rigg after that. To talk up we gave him literally seconds before, it's just a tame effort down the middle, which actually, as you say, Sells should have done a bit better with. But the worry for Forest with that particular attack was it all starts off with Alderete on the halfway line. He darts forward about 15-20 yards, and then 2 touches later there's a chance for Rigg. So that Forest midfield and defence was completely bypassed.
Yeah, you don't want it rolling straight through the middle like that, do you? Yeah, he just chopped a shoulder on Alderete and seemed to lose Jesus, who the attacker's challenge came in from the back. It wasn't much of anything, really. As Ola Aina now has got a throw, and well, yeah, Sadiqi's he's having that wrist. It was his wrist stroke hand that was trod on, and yeah, there's no doubt he'd be feeling that. There's no way that you can.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder what. I mean, the sort of the neutralising spray, the numbing spray, is that going to help? I mean, that's normally for sort of a bigger thigh muscle where it can sort of get absorbed, but onto a hand, is it going to work? I mean, they're going to have to try something, because if he's grimacing in pain, he won't be able to focus on the game at all.
No, I mean, and it's going to hurt. I think that what you do is you try and get a couple of paracetamol into him, and maybe strap it up. Just that thought that something's on it, to strengthen it, maybe, I don't know, and a bit of spray, but something might just work on his psyche a little bit, that he's been sorted out. They are putting a bandage on it, and I think that's to do with the psychology.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's so he can feel a bit more of support on that hand as well, because he definitely felt that when he hit the deck, and it took a couple of moments. Just to remind you as well that there is another game on our service this evening from the Championship. It's Leicester against Millwall. And of course, Millwall still looking to try and cement that top 2 spot. Leicester confirmed back in, well, I say back, Leicester in League One. It still seems crazy that it was 10 years ago that they were having that party at Jamie Vardy's house when Chelsea beat Spurs, and of course now they're 2 divisions below. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? There's Morgan Gibbs-White on the ball now. He's playing on the left wing today. I understand what Pereira's doing. He's playing players that he trusts. And I just think that out wide they've come up a little bit short recently. I think Amari Hutchinson has played quite well, and certainly Gibbs White. That always seems to give him his all. The ball goes back to Nico Williams, who puts an early ball in, and well, I don't know if Trey Hume got anything on that. He slid to get there, but
yeah, well, the Forest players are certainly telling the referee that he did, and I think the officials have gone for that. It looks like Hume. Whether he was, he goes for the ball, I don't know. I mean, from that angle, it's hard to tell. But we'll get a closer angle now, as that ball is whipped in by Elliot Anderson. Yeah, I think he does get a touch on that.
Yeah, hard to tell though. So the point it was making, neither Dan and Doy or Callum Hudson-Odoi are particularly trusted, because neither of them's been playing that well. Anyway, here's the corner kick. Hutchinson then floats one to the far post. It's an easy header away. The ball might just come back in, but Ola Aina picks it up, and then he foul from the back. No, he just had his pocket picked there, and Sunderland now can counter attack. That's a terrible out ball.
It is an awful. I think that was Lefay that was playing that ball forward, but yeah, that's just a gift of possession back for Forest. I mean, the 2 players you mentioned there, Hudson-Odoi and Dan Ndoi. I think that the issue for both of them is that, particularly Ndoi, he just goes anonymous in certain games where you just don't see him. Hudson-Odoi can still pull something out of nothing. He'll still put that one good ball in. He'll get a goal. But Ndoi, I think he needs a good run in the team of 10 or 15 games to really sort of rediscover his form. And with Forest in the position they're in, they just can't afford to do that. And here comes Sunderland.
Yeah, Hudson-Odoi not even on the bench. I dare say he's injured.
He is injured, yeah.
Yeah, so Dan Ndoi, they might call on him later.
And this side, McAtee as well, he's not really been able to bed into the team. And it's hard to know exactly what he is. Is he a number 10? Is he a winger? Is he just a straight up midfielder? But Sunderland giving possession away now. Yeah,
Jesus then to Hutchinson into the box. He goes. Can he get his shot away? Left footed. It's a good strike. It's a good save as well. Ball pushed away and still not cleared by Sunderland. Now they've got the ball clear, and they're on the counter attack now. Bursting down their right hand side. Ball back into the middle for Lefay, and an opportunity now into the box. They go. The cut back. Well, I think there was a little slip there from Enzo Lefay. Stanley went just as he's pulling the trigger to pull the ball back, and it just didn't quite work out.
Didn't quite work out, and now a fan has thrown the ball on as well as the ball boy. So now we've got 2 balls on the pitch. We'll have to wait for that to be corrected. But yeah, that's another opportunity there for Sunderland. If he just keeps his balance there a little bit, Lefay, then I think that's going to be a much better ball, and they could have used that as well.
Yeah, on the other side of things, there was a little breakout there, wasn't there, Hutchinson? An opportunity, but it was a good shot, and I think a reasonable save from Robin Roos.
He should be saving it, but as I say, he does get 2 arms across. Here come Sunderland now down the right. Mukiele's ball into the box is charged down, and it's out for a throw. But it's got a nice pace to this game so far.
Yeah, it's a good ebb and flow. It's almost like both teams have got an agenda and stuff to do. We do get to the back end, and some of the issues can be sorted out. Not this one. I don't know whether I was lucky or not, but I did Salford against Bromley last night, and that was first against fourth, and plenty on it. For the first 30 minutes, that League 2 game was like a League 1 game. That's how good it was. And the rest of it dissembled.
Well, I've got a championship game tomorrow afternoon where both teams are going to finish in mid-table regardless. So it's probably going to be the opposite of that. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, that's it. You never know what you're going to get. But Trey Hume plays the ball forward to Mukiele. A little scamper from him. Ball to Siddiqui. He turns it round the corner. Chris Rigg, a no-look cross. It's a terrible ball from him. And he gets dead lucky and gets the corner.
Well, he's very left-footed, isn't he? And he was hitting that one with his right, and it wasn't a good ball at all. He actually gets quite lucky that it was more of Elliot Anderson just getting in the way of that, deflects it out for a corner.
The last time I saw him in the Championship, he wasn't playing particularly well after all the early hype. But clearly they rate him and think a lot of him. Granit Xhaka now is going to take the corner kick, and the fewest goals from corners this season is Sunderland and Brentford. But they've got Big Dan Ballard in. There's no reason why him and Alderete can't get involved. Ball to the far post. Alderete heads it down, but it will be cleared away by Elliot Anderson, who just gives it the order of the big boot. And they were all back defending. I don't agree with that necessarily.
You think there should always be one man up?
Yeah, at least, because that keeps two defenders back at least.
I think that's true as well. But Forest now lose the ball at the edge of their own box.
Yeah, Dan Ballard now trying to find a way through, and he does find a way through, and he cuts back. It's a brilliant ball across, picked up then by Rigg. He cuts the ball back. It wasn't the right idea, but he does get recycled. They win it back, and then now Chris Rigg again at the edge of the box skips and gets the ball out with his feet. They're lucky there, weren't they? Really, Sunderland's the ball goes all the way back to the halfway line and picked up by Siddiqui. Great play by Dan Ballard.
Oh, it was superb. I mean, as I say, it looked like he'd lost that ball into the penalty area when he ran in, but he just about kept his balance and then got that ball across the 6-yard box. Forest with enough bodies just about to deal with it. But Sunderland come again, they're now down the right-hand side.
They do. Mukiele's ball into the box is not particularly good. That's dealt with by Cunha. And now the ball drops to the feet of Morgan Gibbs-White. He's over the halfway line. Chance to run at Mukiele. Gets it out of his feet. It's a great ball to Hutchison. First touch really lets him down there. Needed to kill it stone dead. But he's got an opportunity now to run at Trey Hume, and he takes him on. And that's come off the outstretched boot of Trey Hume, and it will be a corner.
It is end-to-end stuff. Both sides, as you said, they really have got something to play for, and you can see that. And Sunderland are just starting to get into that mode of being the home team. They're seeing more of the ball, but don't get me wrong, Forest are still quite happy to push forward in numbers as well. Just getting a replay of that effort from Ballard. And I'm surprised, actually, for all the talk we had about Rigg being left-footed, I thought he might have cut that back onto his left foot and actually gone for goal there himself.
Yeah, just ended up recycling the ball. It didn't quite drop for him. Anyway, Hutchison takes it to short this corner kick. He's going to get the ball back, and then they chip the ball into the far post. It's a great effort, and the ball's in the back of the net, and they've scored with Jesus. Well, for Forest there, nobody minding the short corner, but he wasn't short for long, was he? Because immediately then the ball played to the far post. Jesus hunting there at the back stick, and it's an easy goal.
He's no goal scorer, this Igor Jesus, is he? So that's such a big goal from the Brazilian. There will be an inquest here from Sunderland, though, because the angles are very tight. I'm not so sure that this ball should even be finding the net. We'll see from a replay here, but it's a real passionate reaction there from Igor Jesus. As I say, doesn't get too many goals. He's more a supporting character in attack. But that could prove to be a huge goal, not just for Forest, but potentially for sides in and around Forest as well. The corner kick is whipped in by Hutchison. Oh, I mean, it's going to be an own goal, that, I think. He heads that off the back of Chris Rigg, and then pinball style, the ball just completely wrong foots Robin Roofs and goes over his shoulder.
So, yeah, definitely. The head is across the face. You know, he does well to get there.
It's not even going on target.
No, and it comes off Trey Hume, is it?
It is Trey Hume, absolutely right, yeah.
So,
yeah. Hume, and I'm assuming they'll have to give that as an own goal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It was, he just had it across. But in fairness to Jesus, he won his header, he's putting it across in the danger area, he never know what's going to happen. Well, there, it ended up a goal. So it's good enough, that.
It's good enough. Vitor Pereira will not care one jot. Igor Jesus won't care. I'm sure from a personal point of view, he'd like to have a Premier League goal to his name, but the fact that his header has given Forest the chance to take the lead. Funnily enough, the score update page that we used did have, for a brief moment, had Igor Jesus as the goal scorer. They've now corrected that to just say that it is a Trey Hume own goal that gives Forest the leader. Look at that live table. There will be a side in North London and a side in East London looking on very nervously.
No, exactly that. And, you know, at this point of the season, you want points in the bag. You know, Leeds then had played in midweek, and of course they've got the Cup issues this weekend, a game against Chelsea, but they got a point at Bournemouth that they probably weren't entitled to get at the late show. But here comes Sunderland trying to hit back. The Mukiel has a great ball across, then to Siddiqui cuts, and can he get a right foot shot away? He can, but he's blocked away at source. And then Gibbs White launches a long ball. This now will allow Forest to play counter-attack. But the problem for them is if they are just thinking, oh, we better drop deep, then they just could be inviting trouble.
They could, yeah. I think it's far too early for Forest to be sitting back. I don't think they have a good enough defence to be doing that for, you know, the 70-plus minutes we still have to go in this game. They're far better off trying to have a bit more of a midfield battle like they're doing now, because Hutchison was being fouled there when he won the ball back. The referee allows an advantage. Yeah,
and then Elliot Anderson is taken off the ball. I thought it was a good challenge from Diarra, and he throws his hands in the air, and he's saying it's a shoulder barge, and I'm with him. I think he got upside.
He said shoulder barge, but he was actually pointing at his bicep, which isn't part of his shoulder. But I think that there was definitely a foul there on Hutchison, and I think the referee was waiting to see whether there was going to be an advantage, and then I think he decided that because the ball was taken off Anderson, whether it was fairly or not, there was no advantage, so he's put it back for the free kick.
Changed your mind again anyway. I thought it was a foul actually when I look at that, but you're right, it was the first one that he's given because he's taking the ball back.
But I do think it's still a grey area in football as to how long an advantage lasts. We know how long it lasts in both codes of rugby, but we don't really know how long it's down to the referee whether he decides he's given enough of an advantage or not.
Yeah, it's as long as it's a piece of string, isn't it? But anyway, this piece of string was particularly short. And he probably thought, well, and there's another borderline foul, so I may as well take it back, which is understandable. Elliot Anderson now takes the free kick, launched in again. It's a good defensive header from Big Dan Ballard. He's done really well under pressure, and the ball goes through the box. It's a chance for a long throw. I think they've got one of these as well, so...
They do, although Ole Einer's the one who's normally launching the balls long. I don't think Nico Williams has got a particularly long throw, but I might be proved wrong about that, but it doesn't seem to be anyone coming across for the short throw either.
No, it's right. Gibbs White goes short for him, and he gets the ball back, Nico Williams, and then he lays it back. They've got a loaded box, and then the ball goes into the box. Keeper comes out, though. It's a very confident claim from Robin Roofs. Not much he could have done about that goal, but it is... Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 1, and the Tricky Trees have done themselves a power of good with that goal. Sunderland have started okay, except from playing out from the back, which they've done decidedly poorly on about 2 or 3 occasions now.
Yeah, they're still going to be doing it though, because that's the way they want. That's the way Reggie Lebris wants them to play. But it is always going to put them under pressure, particularly with Forest already getting some joy out of that, and they've won the ball back again.
They have. They feel Elliot Anderson there. Then he finds Wood. Can he get going? His shot is in at Roofs, and he's done well to palm that one away. Hold on, where would nobody's getting a challenge on Wood there. He just runs and thinks I'll have a go. You know, it was too easy.
Ballard just stood there and waited for the offside, like he was assuming the linesman was just waiting 2 seconds to put his flag up, but it never came. So I think, as I say, players have got to be very careful. I realise that it's all about not sprinting when you don't need to, conserving your energy, but looking at that angle, even the reverse angle, there didn't seem to be anybody offside there. And actually, I think a fully fit and in full form Chris Woods, he does better there, because that wasn't a particularly good striker there.
In fact, I was just watching Dan Ballard then. He ran backwards that fast to not put a challenge in. Then when he had to turn, he sort of slipped, and that gave the chance. But I'm thinking, well, don't run back so fast then. And you know, if he'd have gone a bit slower, he probably would have, you know, done it a little bit better anyway. There's a player down in back play. It is Chris Wood, but Forest still have the ball, but not for long. They're looking for Aina or Hutchison, could find neither. And then Trey Hume heads the ball up in the air. Lefebvre goes for it, and the ball drops down. And then Sangari battling for it. Hutchison looks step over. It takes him into another challenge. All sorts of challenges going in. The standard's been a little bit off, I would have said, tonight so far. But anyway, it might be a scrappy game, but it's a scrappy game where Nottingham Forest have found themselves in front. It was a Trey Hume own goal, but it was a well-worked corner kick taken short, and then Hutchison put a good ball in. And I think he's been the best player so far. Amari Hutchison's a good ball into box. Nico Williams then tries to cut in. He goes down, but I thought it was a good challenge there, and so too did our referee, Darren England. Anyway, we are halfway through this first half. Listening to Independent Off Tube studio commentary. It is Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 1, and it's going to be Paul now to take us through to half-time.
Thank you very much, John. Yeah, it's still goalless, by the way, in the championship game between Leicester City and Millwall. But yeah, the interesting thing about this game is that Forest have had pretty much all their most dangerous moments in front of Sunderland's goal, either from a set piece or from a turnover, Sunderland giving the ball away. They've actually struggled to create anything out of open play when they've just gone forward out of their own half. So that's something that Sunderland need to bear in mind as well, that they're pretty much presenting Forest with their best chances to cause them problems. And since Forest have taken the lead, there's actually been a couple of decent chances for them to increase their lead. There's a long ball now played towards Broby. That's cut out by Ola Aina. Decent challenge there in midfield, though, to keep that ball alive from Trey Hume. Now it's Dan Ballard stepping forward here for Sunderland. Gets into the edge of the area. Broby then holds it up for Lefay. It's a clumsy challenge from Milenkovic. He was protesting even before he had time to pick himself up from that challenge because he knew he was in trouble there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the expression is lumbered in. Yeah, he's a big, heavy guy, and he, even at his best there, you're saying he had to hurdle his leg, whether there was contact or not, and you can't do that, can you? So it's an obvious free kick. It's in a good position. If they've got somebody with a good left foot, and I think they have,
yeah, absolutely,
could be trouble.
Granit Xhaka, this is very much his territory. Over on the right-hand side, 3 or 4 yards away from the edge of the area. Just enough of a distance to be able to lift and get proper curl on this shot as well. And no surprise to see it's a pretty long wall there from Forest as well. They really want to make sure that they're making it as difficult as possible here for Xhaka. Matt Sells with real precision now trying to get those players arranged. Lefay is there as well. I mean, if he could lift it over the wall and go with his right foot, that might be a bit of a surprise here for Sells, who's, as most keepers, just slightly over to one side of his goal, almost daring Granit Xhaka to try and curl it over the wall. And the referee is just making sure that everything's fine with the wall. It's taking this long that the magic spray starting to wear off, but we can now finally see this free kick. Will it be Lefay? Will it be Xhaka? It is Lefay. It's into the wall. It's a poor free kick in the end. It's deflected towards the edge of the area. Michele then goes back to Lefay, who clips that ball into the penalty area. Ballard heads it across the 6-yard box. It's a head up in the air from Wood. Then a second header is from Alderete, but he was he's 10 yards out and he just heads that over the bar in the end. But it all starts off with a poor free kick from Lefay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, great disguise, but then they pick the wrong angle. You're likely to hit the wall, aren't you, with a right-footed rather than a left foot, who's everything is opened up for him. He never works out when the wrong man hits the ball. I've hardly ever seen it where it's like counterintuitive doing that. But anyway, a wasted opportunity, and then Alderete just heads it up in the air. I thought he might just scrape a header in and hope it drops for somebody, but he got right underneath it, so they've been a little bit off. They need to find Brian Brobbey, because no doubt he's a very talented player and takes his chances as well, but they've not found him tonight.
No, he's not had too many opportunities to run onto the ball at all, really, and Forest were about to... I thought the referee was actually going to allow play to go on there, but he has brought it back for a free kick to Nottingham Forest on the halfway line. It's turning out to be a pretty frustrating half this for Sunderland, but the man on our screens now, Vitor Pereira, he'll be very pleased with what he sees. There's a long ball played now towards Chris Wood inside the penalty area. There was half a chance he might have used his arm to try and control that, but in the end the ball gets away from him in any case, and Trey Hume now plays it up towards the halfway line. Bit more space here for Diarra, but that's a great challenge from Sangare, living up to his billing as a proper defensive midfielder. And now it's Morgan Gibbs-White out towards the right-hand side for Mari Hutchison. He's got 2 Sunderland players closing him down. Hutchison keeps possession here for Forest, having to use extra support in now from Ola Aina, back in towards Sangare. He goes all the way back towards the halfway line now for Milenkovic and Cunha. You're across towards Morgan Gibbs-White in a slightly deeper role. It's probably the longest spell of possession the Forest have actually had in this game. They've been pretty direct so far. They're enjoying a bit more possession inside the Sunderland half now. And Williams plays it into Gibbs-White, who turns and goes for goal. It's charged down inside the penalty area by Ballard. It's back into midfield now for Sangare. He's got support from Ola Aina down the right-hand side. He's got 4 players in the box if he can pick out a cross. He tries one along the deck. Decent challenge from Siddiqui, but then the ball deflects into the path of Hutchison, whose cross is charged down by Hume, and it's out for a corner. Forest are feeling confident in attack now.
Yeah, I'm liking Hutchison today. I liked him last time I saw him, and then he took him off after about an hour or something, and I didn't understand that. But yeah, he's playing well. I think Gibbs-White is always alive, and then you're hoping for their sake they can get the ball into their 2 good strikers.
corner kick being set up now here on the right-hand side. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from the aforementioned Amari Hutchinson. And he stands that one up towards the back post. Good header away from Ballard. The ball at the edge of the area almost gets through to Anderson. Lefay just gets there ahead of him, and he clears into the halfway line where the last man back for Nottingham Forest is Cunha, which is an interesting choice. I mean, as John mentioned, he's one of the taller players in that Forest team, so might be a bit of a waste to have him as the man on the halfway line. But his long ball actually picks out Gibbs White on the left-hand side, so Forest are straight back into the final third. It's with Elliot Anderson now. Left-hand edge of the penalty area, back to Gibbs White, back to Anderson, getting all the way to the byline, turning away from Mukiele, gets a cross in, which is deflected. It's out for a corner, but this time on the left-hand side.
Yeah, just to put that into perspective, what you said, Jay Cunha is 6'6", and the fact that he's like sort of last man back rather than fighting for the. Why wouldn't he? Yeah, just because he's tall doesn't mean he's great in the air. Dan Ballard, he's not that much over 6 foot, but he's a ball magnet, isn't he?
You've seen me play before, because that's what they used to say about me as well. But anyway, we'll gloss over that. But in any case, no, I mean, it was a great ball from Cunha out towards the left-hand side, but it does seem like a waste. He's one of the taller for us, unless he really is no good at heading the ball, but then he shouldn't be a centre-back, really, should he? In any case, the corner kick comes in from the left-hand side. It's quickly headed clear, and yeah, once again, it's that big man Cunha back on the halfway line here, and Elliot Anderson now exchanging passes as everyone filters back into their positions now after Sunderland cleared their lines. It's with Aina now on the right-hand side, goes in towards Hutchison. Back to Aina, Sangare under pressure here from Diarra. Has to go back to Ola Aina again, but it's almost like Forest have shifted the sort of the balance of play in this game, and they're almost playing like the home side now. It's like Sunderland having to fight for the ball as the Sangare's long ball is headed on here by Gibbs White, but it's then landing with Mukiele, who just nods it back towards Robin Roofs.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Forest have definitely gained confidence with the goal, and they would have gained confidence after that good.
Oh, it's been given away at the edge of the area. Golden chance here for Chris Wood, and that's 2-0. Well, this goal has been coming since the first minute for Nottingham Forest. Sunderland have been making such a mess of playing out from the back. Forest got the incentive right from the first minute, and it's another calamity with short passing at the edge of their own area, and Chris Wood can't believe his luck. It's 2-0 to Forest.
Yeah, he's deadly. I mean, okay, you're gifted an opportunity, but you see a lot of teams scramble and somehow pull it back, but it was awful. And then the finish from Wood, well, somebody's as deadly as him, you're just expecting it. Roofs has the ball, and then he's playing it out, it hits Chris Wood, he gets it back. The first passer is Morgan Gibbs White, and then he just chips it back past him.
Why is Rose playing that through the middle? He's got Chris Wood in front of him. It's not like he can't see him. It's a crazy decision from the goalkeeper. I sometimes stick up for goalkeepers and outfield players when they concede these goals, because they say, well, it's the manager's fault because he threatens to drop them if they dare clear it to the halfway line. But actually, when you think about it, that no manager wants to see their team do that. No manager is telling his goalkeeper, yeah, just try and play it through the striker of the opposition team, hopefully. I mean, I'm not really entirely sure what the Sunderland players are doing there. They're not happy about something. I think they've almost had a little sort of Chelsea-style huddle there for a split second after conceding that goal. Reggie Lebris now is getting absolutely furious, having a conversation with his assistants, perhaps it's the kiss of death after press rumours in the week that the Sunderland hierarchy were thinking of sacking Lebris if Sunderland don't make it to Europe, and then the Sunderland hierarchy had to come out and say, well, that's not true, he's staying here regardless. But of course, I mean, it would be crazy to get rid of him, and they're a newly promoted team, and even if they finish in 10th, I mean, so what? It's still been a great season. But just quickly changing subjects, that's Chris Wood's first goal since the opening day of the season, when he actually scored a really good goal against Brentford in that game.
Yeah, he's had a lot of injury problems, so he's not had a lot of game time. But, you know, it's an absolute gift for him. You know, he just gets it out of his feet, left foot, little chip. Yeah, he's not going to get an easier goal, is he? But, I mean, anybody can misplace a pass, but the problem is when you're playing out from the back like that, you misplace one and you're immediately in trouble, aren't you? So you can't be sloppy at all. And that's what they've been, because that's about the fourth time they've done that.
Well, here comes Forest against Sunderland, giving it away, and a slip from Ballard, and here's Hutchison into the box. There's a ball across, taken down in by Gibbs White. The ball across was overhit though from Hutchison, and in the end, Gibbs White, all he can do is deflect that ball off an opposition player and win a corner. But if you could call a timeout in football, Sunderland will be doing it now, because they desperately need to regroup.
Yeah, Robin Roofs needs to go down, doesn't he, and pull his hamstring or something. But Yeah, they're all over the shop, aren't they? Hutchison ever so bright today. Really enjoying watching him. I think he looks like he's playing with confidence. Morgan Gibbs-White, he's always full of it, you know. He plays well, and now it's a corner kick, another opportunity. And like we said, they've got big targets to hit. Sangare, Jesus, Wood, all in there, all close to the goalkeeper as well, putting pressure on them. Milankovic, he's there too.
Well, the corner kick is taken short this time, and Sadiki actually spotted that. He tried to close it down, but the ball's back with Nico Williams. He puts it towards the back post. Jesus heads it down. Gibbs-White goes for goal, and it's a third. See, Forest are running riot here. Well, if you're going to keep yourself in the Premier League, you might as well do it in style. And Nottingham Forest, on 34 minutes, have their third goal of the evening, and it's the best of the lot.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've seen this before. Short corner kick routine. Then the ball goes to the far post. Who's there? Jesus. And what does he do? He's going to head it across. He gets another goal for it, doesn't he? So he probably got an assist for the OG. But this one at the far post, he nods it back across, and the ball slammed in. And the Sunderland fans are going home. 35 minutes on the clock, and they're going home. And I'm not kidding, they are. We've just seen them streaming out. Maybe an early half-time beer.
I was going to say, I'd like to give some of them the benefit of that and say they're just getting an early half-time refreshment. But, well, I mean, as I say, I've left games early, but never in the first half. I must admit, I've seen my team be 4-0 down at half-time before. I haven't left at half-time, but before the first. But, again, I mean, the goal here from Forest, the thing I like about it is that there was a structure to it. They wanted to take the short corner. Then there's the header on from Jesus. And it just seems like it's too easy, but it's because Forest really are playing with so much confidence, and Sunderland just started the game nervously, and they haven't really been able to break out of that. And now there's a real sort of quandary here for Reggie Lebris. What do? Do they try and match Forest and then have some sort of cricket score against them, or is it damage limitation so they only lose 3-0 this evening? It's hard to know what they do now.
We were saying as well, here we go again. Oh,
Ballard put under pressure from Gibbs-White, loses the ball, but he just about managed to recover it enough to get it back to his goalkeeper, who clears it back into midfield. But Forest are coming straight back again here now. He's looking at Jesus, finding Amari Hutchison. He's got Sadiki all over him. Sadiki brings him down. That's going to be a free kick to Forest in a very good position, just at the edge there. But look at Sadiki. He's not even bothered about the referee giving a free kick against him. He's just using this moment to scream at his defender, saying, "What are you guys doing?"
Wow. Well, this is not the game I was expecting, to be honest. I thought it would be tight. I thought it would be really tight. And then when Forest got that early goal, we thought just for a couple of minutes they dropped back deep, didn't they? But then they set up to play counter-attack, and then they've done that beautifully well. And because Sunderland made such a mess of playing out from the back, it's just gifted them opportunities. You know, those attackers who stepped the field, Hutchison, Gibbs-White, who were feeding off the mistakes, and with two strikers as well. You know, maybe that's part of the reason why they played two strikers tonight.
Well, short free kick here from Anderson, then a ball whipped in by Hutchison. It almost goes for goal, deflected towards the edge of the area, and it's Aina's shot. It's a fourth. It's Igor Jesus. 37 minutes gone, and Nottingham Forest have a fourth goal this evening. It is an absolute disaster for Sunderland. Well, I'll tell you what, if some of those fans were going for an early beer, they might just neck that pint and then walk out, because I don't think it's going to get any better for Sunderland this evening. Forest are absolutely running riot.
Well, they scored 3 and it wasn't enough last time out, so in fact they scored 4, didn't they? But yeah, so anyway, yeah, for Sunderland they scored 3 last time, it wasn't enough, and it wouldn't be enough again. You know, for Forest they scored 4 goals last time. They're getting used to it. They've got momentum now, and they could go on and score more. I don't know, I don't understand why Sunderland's such a mess tonight, but they are, and they're literally all over the place. When you're watching that, Trey Hume is stood locked into where he was. He didn't get out quickly enough, so they're not playing him off. They're not doing anything. They're not in a line, not in any shape. There's no talk. And again, how many times from a corner kick or from a set piece can Jesus find himself unmarked at the far post?
Well, I mean, it's his goal tally has increased markedly. He had 4 goals before this evening. Now he's got 6, and we can see some of those Sunderland fans looking really, really angry as they're making their way to the exits. Now just trying to maybe they're trying to outdo each other, saying, "No, I'm staying. I'm not going yet. I'm not going yet." Getting onto the WhatsApp group, trying to see who can stay the longest. But with 7 minutes to go now until half time, the Sunderland players probably hoping the referee won't add any injury time, just to spare them any more of this, because this is an incredible turnaround in this game. I mean, in fairness, Forest almost got a gift of a goal inside the first 90 seconds when Sunderland gave the ball away. And as it turns out, that was actually a good prognosis for the rest of the half.
Well, they've had plenty of opportunities. They've had 6 shots.
In the last 15 minutes. Sorry, in the last 20 minutes, I beg your pardon.
So they've had a load of shots, and there were shots from Hutchison and Elliot Anderson early. That was before we got the goal, and that was only in 17 minutes. So Sunderland's non-performance is mystifying tonight, particularly because the carrot of European football was dangling for them. So let's have a quick look at the match stats. Of 42% possession, they had 9 shots and 5 on target. So far there's only been 1 effort on target from Sunderland. We've had 57% of the ball. It doesn't matter, does it? We're just talking about unless they won a title.
And it doesn't feel like it either, does it? It doesn't feel like they've had more of the ball at all, but they've got a free kick just inside Forest territory here, and it's Xhaka standing over it. He takes the ball long down towards the right-hand side here now for Chris Rigg. He's immediately been blocked by Gibbs White. Goes back to Xhaka. He just turns away from Amari Hutchison. It's back onto his right foot. He goes for goal. It's charged down. Hutchison then loses the ball in his feet. Rigg has to quickly turn and recycle that, and he goes back towards the halfway line now for Trey Hume. Sunderland will just be happy to get 7 or 8 passes together, but that ball from Hume is cleared at the edge of the area by Ola Aina, and then there's 2 players down here. Hutchison is down, but the referee's going to play on because it's a chance here now for Forest to break out down the right-hand side here with Aina. He rolls it forward for Anderson, asking too much of him there. Rigg slides in and puts it out, but it's a throw to Forest in a decent position.
Yeah, every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score tonight, don't they? And the 2 players down, Hutchison there.
Diarra,
yeah, and so coming together, Hutchison, I think, been really bright tonight so far. But the whole team have really. The defenders have not had much to do, have they? To be honest with you.
Nasty landing that for Diarra. I think that he's probably the one in. Although Hutchison certainly looks like he's in a lot of pain himself, it looked to me like Diarra was the one who had more of the awkward landing there.
Yeah, I felt that Hutchison maybe is winded, whereas he sort of dropped onto his ribs a little bit, didn't he? Somehow, Diarra there, which you're bound to feel. I don't understand what's going on with them tonight. But for Pereira, well, we know that he likes to play the back 3 at times, but I think naturally there are 4. I think Aina's a good right back, and Nico Williams, I was singing his praises. They haven't had to be great in midfield because basically Sunderland have just been that bad playing out from the back. They've played themselves into all sorts of bother, haven't they, tonight? And and then the other thing is they probably weren't expecting Forest to go with 2 strikers tonight. I know I wasn't. And then my other thought is they've decided not to mark Igor Jesus. Now maybe they read his stats, as I read to you. X amount of games and only 4 goals, 32 games, 4 goals before tonight. But you mark strikers, don't you?
No, you do. I mean, if there's a forward player playing against you in a Premier League game, you can't assume that he won't be as good as the other forward player. You have to assume that there's going to be a goal threat, and there's been a real goal threat.
It's like they've lost him 3 times now, and there've been 3 goals.
Yeah.
So how do you why do you keep making the same mistake
again?
You
can't, can you? I mean, as I say, the header for the first goal is from Igor Jesus before it deflects off Hume. It's his cushion header that sets up Gibbs White, and then it's his strike that then goes off the shoulder of Bruce and into the net for the 4th goal. And Sunderland have got some defending to do now because it's a throw to Forest in an attacking position here on the right hand side, and that does mean that their long throw specialist Ola Aina can try and launch this one into the penalty area. And launch it he does. It's a good throw as well. Headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box by Rigg, and Aina will track this one himself back towards the halfway line. Well, he rolls this back for that man Cunha. He's never allowed to go forward, is he? But it's back with Aina now. It looks like Hutchison is ready to come back on. I think Diarra was already back on the field anyway. So the 2 injured parties look okay to play on for the time being.
I wonder if Cunha fancies himself as the next Ronald Koeman or something. I like to play sweeper and I'll do this and that, but it seems baffling that he's 6'6" and he doesn't go up for headers anyway. That's the way the cookie crumbles with them.
Younger listeners are going to have to start googling what a sweeper is now in football, because that's a position that's pretty much got its stick these days. But you never know, it might come back. These fashions in football do come and go. But the free kick now to Sunderland, just inside their own. I think it's inside the Forest, I beg your pardon. So the ball is now sent back towards the visitors. It's gone all the way back now towards the goalkeeper. Just looking at the live table, Forest are now a point behind Leeds. But the important thing is that they are now 8 points clear of relegation, with Spurs only having the 1 game in hand. So if Spurs were to lose their game this weekend, then all of a sudden things get very, very interesting.
Well, One of our party, Warren Ashurst, had sent a message around before this weekend's Rafter game saying that no team has scored 6+ goals in a top flight game this season. So, well, here we go. We've got half a chance, haven't we?
Well, we do, absolutely. And I think that when we saw that stat on the WhatsApp group earlier today, I don't think either of us expected it would be broken in this game. And if it was to be broken, I don't think any of us expected it to be the away team. But that's where we're at. And honestly, the way this game is now, if you said to me, do you think Forest can get up to 6 this evening? I would say yeah, because I didn't expect them to get 4 in the first 40 minutes, and they've actually done it with some ease. And they've got some defending to do now. There was Sadiki tries to push forward down the left-hand side. He was just being pushed a little bit too much there by Milenkovic. That will be a free kick to Sunderland.
I think they'll shut down shop second half, and I think that it would be a natural thing to do. You know, if you got 2 goals, maybe you're thinking, right, we'll give it half an hour, 10-15 minutes after the restart.
It's almost like the time when Germany scored, I think, 5 or 6 against Brazil in the World Cup, didn't they, in the first 10 minutes?
I did that game.
I think I was on it somewhere as well, and certainly it looked like Germany basically took pity on Brazil in the second half, because they could have got up to about 15 goals that evening, and Brazil had just completely folded in on themselves.
David Luiz, yeah.
Julio Cesar, yeah, who'd have thought that he might have struggled in goal in the World Cup. But anyway, getting back to this game, it's a free kick to Sunderland. It's about 40 yards out, lifted into the penalty area here by Xhaka, nodded clear. The ends by Cunha, back towards Xhaka on the left-hand side. We're just about to tick into injury time. There'll be a few minutes of it, if only for the fact we've had 4 goals, but a couple of injuries as well. But now Sadiki taking the ball on, and it's a ball into the penalty. Alderete trying to tee it up for Rigg, but Rigg was just a little bit too far away from him to be able to use that ball, and then it's cleared all the way to the halfway line, where it is out for a throw to Sunderland. We're into 3 minutes of added time.
Enough time for a goal. Football's baffling, isn't it?
That's why we love it.
I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand why Sunderland have been so bad, but sometimes you just have an off night, and everything that Forest have done's turned good.
Oh, here comes Xhaka now. Ooh. That's a proper barge there from Elliot Anderson. Anderson fighting with Lefay. Lefay then gets brought down as well before eventually Sangare clears his lines. I mean, Elliot Anderson was taking the shoulder-to-shoulder rule to the absolute limits there, but I think he's probably just about okay with that one.
Yeah, I'm just about on the same wavelength as you there. I thought his challenge was slightly from behind, but ever so slightly that you couldn't really call it.
Refs allow that though. I mean, it seems to be that I'll break off from that though, because his Lefay down the left, his cross into the box was aimed at Robbie, and that one is cleared. Say my rather genius move of putting Robbie into my team this evening, and I think I may have actually swapped my Brentford keeper in my fantasy team for Robin Roofs, because I thought, well, Kelleher away at Old Trafford might have a busy night.
Do you know somebody who Wild Horses couldn't have dragged me into putting into a team would be Igor Jesus, who I've never rated at all, but here he is, the man of the moment. An involvement in 3 of the goals tonight, one of which he scored. But I still maintain that if you don't mark players, they at this level, they're probably going to have a good game,
Well, they will do, and I think that we could see Luca and I in there. In a sort of selfish footballer way, he's probably thinking, yeah, that's what happens, boss. You drop me from the defence, and this is what happens. You let 4 inside the first half. But yeah, there's some very worried faces on in the Stadium of Light this evening. They are hugely passionate about their team, and any kind of defeat like this is going to hurt them badly, as the long ball in from the left-hand side is nodded clear to the edge. We've still got 60 seconds of added time in this first half as Xhaka clips the ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. Robbie was there, but the ball is just over his head. He wants a corner kick. I didn't see any touch of a Forest player there, and it's out for a goal kick.
No, I think he's frustrated because again the ball's aimed at him. Nico Williams is seemingly the master of that. It flicked off Nico Williams' hand.
I mean, it wouldn't be enough for a penalty, but it could potentially be a corner.
Yeah, it should be a corner. So he's not getting that, and they're just not getting any luck. At 4-0 down, you need to have a mountain of luck, don't you? But they just haven't played particularly well. I tell you what is weird tonight. If you look at it, the XG, so they've scored 4 goals, but the XG is 1.13. I don't know what that tells us about
it. I'll use the same example again, that when Man City scored, was it 10 or 11 against Exeter this season? Was it 9 or whatever the score was in that game? Their XG was 3.2. So, I mean, it's not a perfect stat by any stretch, but it does give you an indicator, at least what you would expect a side to get more or less. As Sunderland trying to get something started, but they won't have any more time because our referee Darren England has called time on what has been a nightmare first half here for the home side. Sunderland started nervously and it just got worse and worse, whereas Forest are securing their Premier League status in style. At half-time it's Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4, and we're back in 15 minutes.
Half time at the Stadium of Light. It is Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been terrible. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal, peeled away at the far post. His header came in, hit Shaun, went in. He played a part in the second goal as well. Assist this time from Morgan Gibbs-White. A little left foot to chip from Gibbs-White after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Then Jesus headed from a corner kick into the path of Morgan Gibbs-White, and then himself Igor Jesus and marked to the far post to make it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Igor Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun, went in. He didn't play part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roofs had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. His header at the far post hit Shaun went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs White for goal number 3, and then Jesus himself unmarked this time and still unmarked at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. He's header at the far post, hit Hume, went in. He didn't play a part in the second. That was Chris Wood, the left foot chip after Robin Roos had given the ball away. Jesus again, a header back across the face for Morgan Gibbs-White for goal number 3. And then Jesus himself, unmarked this time, and still unmarked, at the far post for a header, made it 4. It's half time at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. Sunderland have been awful. Ligo Jesus has been brilliant, played a part in the first goal in 17 minutes. He's header at the far. Right, we're back. Now everybody's back. Chris Rigg didn't survive the half-time call, and Ronaldo is on. It could be, well, it's going to be a significant change, and it's possible that they're 3 wing backs, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on. Clearly, you can change everything that you like, and Dominguez on for Sangari as well. We just camera just lingers on him, so yeah, thanks for that. We thought Sangari had I'm speaking for you, Paul, but I think we both thought Sangari had a decent first half.
He did. It may well be that's why they've taken him off, just to preserve his energy, because they're going to want him in those games still to come at the end of the season. Of course, Forest still have a European campaign to think about as well. So with the job done, you would argue, I mean, for Forest not to go on and win the game from now would be a disaster from their points of view. So Vitor Pereira trusts that Dominguez can fill that void for Sangari.
Yeah, so Ronaldo Mandava, he pretty much will be playing down the left. Hume can play all sorts of different positions. That's yet to be found. As Bobby there going into a challenge, he's a big man, and Cooney's come off second best there. He went down really heavily on his shoulder. I'm not sure, he might not have done something bad here, but yeah, he
says that he's pointing to his shoulder. He's not moving very much as well, so they're going to have to.
No, he's absolutely in agony, and you know when somebody's hurt. He's not, you know. I don't think it was anything that Bobby did. I think it's more the way that he fell. I think he's gone down really heavily, and it might. The look of Milenkovic, they're saying he probably is going to need to be changed. So, but take another look at it as Cooney comes across. And the way he's gone down there, it's almost like a jockey's fall in his roll, and that might be what do they always do? Collarbone. I think it might be a collarbone then, because it tends to be that rolling onto your shoulder injury, you know. Anyway, well, fingers crossed that it isn't. But they're all looking at shoulder and saying something's gone. And
his fellow compatriot here, Murato, the defender, is getting warmed up just in case. Because certainly it didn't look good the way that he fell, but the fact that they're able to now lift his arm and they're able to do a half a rotation, he's clearly not dislocated. Even if he'd have dislocated his shoulder, there'd be no way that he could even move it that much. As that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure it's shoulder as much as collarbone. I think then you're worried about rotator cuff, you know that kind of stuff. But the way that they're able to move, so that sort of ball joint, isn't it, something there, your shoulder. You know about your shoulder when it pops out and all that. They're in screaming, I guess. So it's one of those that you know it hurts when it goes wrong and you jar it up. But let's hope that's all that is. Anyway, he's still in a spot of bother, and it's the kind of thing where
it does seem to be more well, as I say, they're still sort of putting more pressure on the shoulder, whether it's the collarbone or the shoulder itself. I mean, he's. The sort of the body language, he's like saying I can come back on, but at the same time he's needing a physio to hold his right arm up. So I'm not quite sure but now he's trying to straighten the arm, he's trying to check it. You can see that the physios are sort of saying more, and I'm not too happy about this.
Yeah, I think he may have broken a collarbone, and I genuinely believe that. I think it's one of those, like I say, you know, it's a different sport, but yeah, I see it in jumps racing quite a lot. And because the way he sort of rolled, if you're tangling with Brian Brobby, you know about it. He's such a strong man. He's a real powerhouse, and because he's so tall as well, Cooney is such a long way to drop down to the ground then from his shoulder. At what he's at, about 6'4" or something, to then drop to the ground. You know, he felt it anyway. Nottingham Forest, they're 4-0 up. They don't want to change, but Murata's a decent player. As long throw there from Nico Williams. He's aimed at Wood, ball headed away by Ballard. It's funny, isn't it? Ballard, we've said early doors a ball magnet, but they found a way to evade him. Ball at the far post for Jesus, who'd been unmarked.
No, absolutely, and you just mentioned there about I mean, Forest are top scorers in the league since Vitor Pereira was appointed manager. Now that in itself is quite a crazy stat, really.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? And he's doing a good job. Cunha has had to go off, unfortunately for him. So in the fullness of time, I'm sure we'll find out what it is. It might just be a bruised shoulder, let's hope so. But there's a little foul in the middle of the park. And referee Darren England's got a yellow card. He doesn't need the players to tell him. And Diarra gets a yellow card for showing the imaginary yellow card. And now the man who put the foul is going to get the yellow card anyway.
Yeah, I think it was Dominguez actually. He's only just come off the bench in the last 5 minutes at the start of the second half. But it was his lunge that has got the yellow card. I mean, credit to Darren England for enforcing that rule. I mean, he's a standalone referee in doing that, because I mean, as we all know that for the amount of players that call for a yellow card compared to the ones that actually get it is, it's a tiny amount really. But I think it's deserved yellow card for Dominguez as well.
But yeah, quite right. But Diarra immediately got up and then did the imaginary yellow card, and his own teammates pulled him away as if to say, "We know you're going to get carded here."
And the other thing as well is that he didn't even give a chance to the referee to give the yellow card, because he was immediately asking for it. But now Forest on the attack.
Hutchison now into the box. The ball is slightly played behind him, allows Ronaldo Mandava to get to him. Hutchison then now takes him to the byline. Ball whips across. Elliot Anderson there, a little side foot in, but Trey Hume is on hand at the post just to be able to deal with him. Maybe Trey Hume is there to make sure that Jesus or anybody is dealt with at the far post right now. Trey Hume, is he playing right wing back now or just the right hand side of it? I don't know, but it was vital he was there.
It was vital, yeah. I mean, Sunderland are saying this shouldn't even be a corner because the ball had gone out before it came back in, and there is actually an argument for that as well. So I'm just wondering whether the officials have now corrected that, and they have, because it was given as a goal kick in the end.
You're quite right as well. The ball seemed to roll out and then come back in over the post, didn't it? But anyway, Forest cleared their lines with Nico Williams. A little flick on them from Gibbs White. He gets it back. He's had a good game, but he shows way too much of the ball to Trey Hume, who wins it back off him. Gets to his feet. I'm trying to see out the stands whether there's any seats there. But anyway, the ball across here. Chance Sunderland. The ball won't break to Lafair, and Aina will deal with it. We suspected that a few had left at 3-0, but then we thought, well, maybe they'd just gone for an early half-time pint. But at 4-0, some of them might not have come back here. And there's one or two seats over at the far side where I'm thinking maybe people have just gone for a Friday night out. Mostly, though, they've all come back in, haven't they?
They have, yeah. We're looking at the sort of the wide shot there as Gibbs White was at sort of pitch level, and you can see in the stand behind him. I mean, this is a fiercely loyal. The fan base really is very, very dedicated, and as I say, I remember from my youth watching the original Sunderland documentary back in the sort of mid to late 90s. It's been followed up by all the more recent ones, of course, but there's always been a sort of underlining sort of feeling that Sunderland are just waiting for things to happen. They have had good times, of course, in the last 20 years. They've had European campaigns. They've been into the top half of the Premier League on more than one occasion, but it just feels like now they want to have something a little bit more permanent, and because they've been teased so much with such a great start to this season, there's obviously going to be frustration with the way that things are going at the moment in this game.
Absolutely, they've had a good season, but not having a good night tonight. Elliot Anderson wins the ball in the middle of the park, then Wood makes a back for Alderetti to come over the top of him, and now they're on the ball. Lefebvre gets run over the top of by Jesus. That will be a free kick and an easy one to give. What I think about Sunderland is this: I think that their fans are really passionate, but that can sort of overspill into all sorts of things. Like I remember at Ryder Cup Park, seeing fans throw their tickets into, season tickets into the dugout and stuff like that. If things aren't going their way, they can take their bat and ball home, and then at times when they've not gone to the game, And
yeah, I think that works at quite a few grounds. They talk about the fantastic atmosphere that can get generated at Ellen Road, but that's because things have been going well at Leeds this season. If you were to have 5 or 6 games where Leeds are losing 2 or 3 in a row, that atmosphere then turns toxic because that passionate fan base then is expecting more and they're not getting it, and that pressure then works against the players. Yeah,
the Stadium of Light, I think things differ. I think at Ryder Cup Park it could get toxic in the past, but anyway, they've had a good season. they spent their money wisely, and like I said, slightly derailed by African Cup of Nations, but then they got their key cogs back, and then it's trying to get momentum again. A victory for them tonight would have catapulted them into the European argument, but the way things have gone, they look a million miles away from that. First defensive header there for Morato's done well. Now we're going to get a long throw with Mukiele throwing the ball in, and the Black Cats fans there trying to support their team and give them encouragement to do better. Can Mukiele put a good ball in? These fans behind this goal have seen plenty of action in this game. 4 goals at their end, but this time Dambala plants his header well wide, and he then will just jog back, and it will be a goal kick. And Forest not looking in any hurry to take this one. Morato's on the ball, they're taking forever. They're still taking forever. And then he gets it out of his feet, finds his own goalkeeper, and eventually Matt Sells launches a long ball in easy chest, but Wood was offside, so that was all a bit wasteful and a bit needless, really. And there's no doubt, I mean, they're still playing a counter-attack for us, so they don't have to do anything extravagant, do they? Just sit back and wait. They didn't dominate possession in the first half anyway to score their goals, so they're only playing the same way, really. Here they go again with Morgan Gibbs-White. He's burst through. Ball with the outstep of his right boot, but Alderete comes across and deals with that. Was he caught late there? Maybe he was. He picks himself up, but the referee's not interested in that. The ball, then he's back with Dambala, back with Sunderland, who will play it from the back.
They'll play out from the back. I mean, the referee was very close to that. He obviously felt as though there wasn't enough contact, and now the ball was played through the middle half, a chance for Sunderland to get forward.
Yeah, Mukiele is forward on the right-hand side. Opportunity for him to take on Nico Williams. Takes him on the inside. Little touch back from him. Diarra scoops the ball in, headed away by Ola Aina. Not quite good enough, but Mukiele gets back there, gets on it again. Mandava picks it up. He lays the ball back. Alderete, not a great ball from him. And then the ball back to Ballard, and they're backpedaling now, so they go back to Trey Hume, who again, he's more positive. A good ball to Renildo. And then a ball into the box, an opportunity, and the shot comes in. Really tame effort then from Enzo Lefebvre, and he never really caught hold of that.
No, it wasn't the best effort. I mean, it wasn't. The ball was played in, and as Lefebvre left it, I think, for Alderete in there. But as he turned and went for goal, it wasn't a particularly good strike. It was straight down the middle. Ball then cleared here by Forest. But Sunderland win it back in midfield. There's an urgency about Sunderland, but there's also psychological. You know, they know what the score is in this game, so it's going to be very difficult to maintain those energy levels. Yeah,
it's right, but well, Forest helped them out by giving the ball away with Morato, and then it is Lefebvre, this time the right hand side, but he's been fouled. That's an obvious one from Elliot Anderson, and so our referee will give a free kick. And they're always going to scrap, weren't they, this half? I think they'd be embarrassed. I don't even think the manager would need to talk to them at half time. You get customers like Granit Xhaka in that dressing room, and they just won't have it, will they?
No, I mean, they would have been told in no uncertain terms, Sunderland, that certainly wasn't good enough. Confirmation is that Anderson gets a booking for that challenge.
So, referee's doing his level best then to try and level things up, but he'd have to go a little bit more than that. Dominguez and Anderson booked this second half. So an opportunity then to sling the ball in the mix for the Black Cats. In it comes, it's headed away by Jesus, who has been good with his head today, hasn't he? And then Aina just heads it back to his keeper, comes off his chest, but I think the referee spotted something with Dan Ballard. He walks away, and again Forest are happy to waste as much time as they can with this set piece. And Pereira happy enough. He got a little wry smile on his face tonight. I do like him, Pereira. I keep saying that, but it's true. He, but one of his messages in the programme at Wolves this season had me punching the air, wanting to go out and play for Wolves somehow. And I thought, I wonder how has he done that? But he talks ever so well. He's really passionate about the sport itself and about his teams. You know, and if he takes a team with him, and I can imagine that, you know, you'd feel 10 foot tall. And clearly, as we saw from that stat about the amount of goals that they've scored for him since he got there, you know, he's really galvanised them. Here comes Sunderland though, into the box they go. Mukiele, can he get across? He cuts back in. left foot stabs the ball across the face. It wasn't the worst ball then, but Xhaka's hustled out of it by Jesus, and then Ronaldo comes across. He's caught late. That might be another yellow card. But and it is Jesus. Darren England saying calm down, but he shows him yellow.
He does show him yellow, and actually the advice from Darren England there isn't bad advice, because Forest have now picked up 3 yellow cards inside the first 15 minutes of this second round.
Yeah, and I think that Sunderland are playing with passion, and for Forest they're just happy to stop them in their tracks, and that's made them rather a blunt instrument in this second period. But we're just about at the hour mark, and it's still 4-0 to the Tricky Trees, and the Black Cats just not really in it. Xhaka now, what can he do? Puts a great ball in, and the shot comes in point blank, and the ball ends up the back of the net, and it is Dembala. He's got one back for the Black Cats, and he's urging the fans to make a bit of noise, but they're back in the game.
They are back in the game. Well, they're off the mark. They've still got quite a long way to go to even get close to Forest. But look at the reaction of those Sunderland fans. Sometimes when your team are 4-0 down and you score, the cheers are sort of more ironic, but they don't seem to be ironic from those Sunderland fans. There was some genuine passion there. Is there anybody offside when that ball is played? I don't think so. Ooh, I tell you what, Mukiele might have his shoulder could have just gone offside. As I say, with bearing in mind the scoreline, I'm hoping that VAR won't have to take too long over this. I mean, the way he flicked it up in the air was quite unusual in of itself, but there may be a question mark there, and that's what we're waiting on. That's exactly what we're waiting on now.
Checking possible offside. I thought he was. When the moment Paul said he didn't think anybody was, and then I just put my pen right on his shoulder, which just seemed to be maybe he's off. But when the ball comes in from Granit Xhaka, I mean, Wood may be keeping him on, Milenkovic may be keeping him on.
I think Milenkovic might be, but say the angle we're looking at isn't brilliant though, is it?
It's like a knee and a shoulder.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a foot back, and
the camera angle we have is slightly in front of the actual offside line, so it's difficult to tell. Mukiele then, I mean, he was going for goal himself, but he ends up just sort of flicking the ball up in the air, beautifully teeing it up for Dan Ballard. I have to say, how intentional that was, of course, is a different matter, but the question mark over the offside, it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to just get those lines.
I think he's on Milenkovic's back foot. Then for me, just keeps him on. But he looked touch and go. The man is marking him. He's the wrong side of him, I feel. But anyway, we'll see that line drawn. Ballard waits. He's a ball magnet. He's 6'2", but he leaps like a salmon. And there, eyes on the prize, and he was desperate for it. Now they're checking for a possible foul on the goalkeeper, because Mukiele, when he's sliding in, upends him at Sells, which is something I didn't spot at all. But Sells is still able to get there. He didn't look like a man who'd been fouled, Sells, did he?
Oh well, he is taken out just as he's diving for the ball. I mean, as I say, they took a while to decide over the offside, and now they're taking even longer to decide over the foul. Now, in my opinion, this is where Darren England should be watching the replay himself now. What's the point of the VAR officials watching this 10 times and then asking Darren England to go over it? Because now he's going to draw the imaginary box and he's going to go watch it anyway, so he should have done this 2 minutes ago. Yeah,
I get the feeling then they're saying to him, you've given a goal, but it ain't a goal, so come and have a look. And what they will say is that we think the keeper been fouled by Mukiele. Come and look at it and tell us what you think. Yes, he is. I think undeniably he's sliding in. It's a foul anywhere else on the field, isn't it? There, they're dead unlucky not to get it though, and everything looks desperately bad, doesn't it, in slow mo? I'm thinking even, the goalkeeper's never going to get that in a month of Sundays, and it doesn't matter whether Mukiele slides in or not. He's still able to launch himself at the ball, so it had no effect on what's gone on, in my opinion. But there's a little bit of contact, and so they usually for any kind of contact. I think the fact that Mukiele's feet rise as well doesn't help him out. It's like he's trying to upset the goalkeeper with just flicking his legs in the air.
Yeah, it's the right leg of Sells that's taken out. Now the referee is going to now make an announcement, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not he feels this is going to be disallowed or not. We can't hear the referee. We'll be able to confirm it very soon though.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've got a sense that the goal will be ruled out. It looks pretty damning, but and when the thing is for the referee as well, when he's called across to take a look, it's a bit like saying, well, you didn't see this, but this is what you missed. You know, almost by default, it's like I've made a mistake and I've got to do something. Dan Ball looks unhappy about that. The goal's been choked off. They're dead unlucky there.
They are. I mean, it's taken far too long as well. That's the other thing that needs to be said. That the goal that was actually scored was scored in the 61st minute, and we're now pushing into the 65th.
Yeah, I'm not so bothered about the timing as long as they get it right. And I think they.
I think that you can have both. You can get it right, but not take so long over it. That's one of. I mean, as I say, you'll be aware that a couple of weeks ago they announced the results of that big survey where the majority of fans, I think over 70% of the fans surveyed, said they don't want VAR. So to say that in of itself won't suddenly change their minds, but I think if you are going to add a little bit more speed to it, then at least makes it a bit more efficient.
Yeah, I guess so. A change been made. Wilson Isidore has come on. Habib Diarra's gone off, and it looks like Forest about to make a couple of changes there. There are too many players on the yellow cards. It's playing Russian roulette a little bit. Even at 4-0, it's like belt and braces. Come on, let's get the points. Let's be professional, and they're going to do all that. Although, I think having a player on a yellow card, you've got Yates, who always a potential red card. I think, and he's about to come on. But anyway, Gibbs White just flicking the ball forward. Dominguez was running forward. He found him. Then he's in the clear. So yeah, it's going to be a double change. So for Forest, they can do what they like with this game, really. But Murray Hutchison is going to come off. So he is one of them. I think he's played well. One player's coming on. Is defender Luca Netz. And I think it's no surprise that they're going to be a bit more defensive minded.
Yeah, I think it makes that they've just conceded. It's taken a while for that decision to then be reversed, but the fact is that they don't want to be in a position where suddenly Sunderland feel like they're getting into the game. So confirmation that Igor Jesus is off, Ryan Yates is on, and Luca Netz has come on as well. So it's a double change here for Vitor Pereira, and I think that there is some logic to that, but it has taken off some of the attacking threat, of course, with Hutchison and Jesus going off.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a wrecking ball, wasn't he? Jesus first up, but Sunderland had given the ball away again to Hutchison, then his ball to Anderson. That's a poor ball. He keeps it in at the corner flag, and then he's fouled by Trey Hume, I thought. Did the referee give that? Trey Hume shaking his head. But it looked like a foul to me. If it's not, then it's a throw. Lukanets is a left back, which means I mean Nico Williams can play right wing back. All that Aina might tuck in. There might be three at the back then with wing backs. Morato's on the ball. He likes to play three at the back. Milenkovic, and then Ola Aina finds itself at on the right hand side of three centre backs right now, and Nico Williams is out on the right. So that sort of makes a bit of sense. He was happy with his back four, and I'm sure that's probably how they're going to start next time out. But for now, they're a bit more defensive minded, and Ryan Yates is such a full-blooded player to bring off the bench at this point. Really good substitute, the club captain. So it is. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 4. The stuffing knocked out of this game in the first half with the 4 goals that the Trees scored, and they're staring down the barrels of 3 easy points, really, which they couldn't have predicted when they made their way up to the northeast tonight, or whenever they came. But anyway, they're winning comfortably. We're 3/4 of the way through this game. You're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio Commentary, and it's going to be Paul now to take us through to full time.
Thank you very much, John. Yes, we were hoping to be more of the same from the first up, but it was unrealistic to expect that, really. A strong challenge there at midfield, and now Forest have just got to be careful here, because Sunderland have had some physical challenges in the first half, and now Forest are just... The reaction of Williams, the challenge is a bad one on Reinildo, and the reaction of Williams is not the reaction of a player whose side are 4-0 up. It's just completely unnecessary in my opinion.
They're coming at right angles, and he catches his man late. There's not much in it. The way that Reinildo went down there screaming probably didn't help him out. I wouldn't have carded him there. I just thought when they come at right angles, it always seems like a lot worse, doesn't it, somehow? He's a little bit late, though.
He is, and I think the referee just wants to get a handle on that, because the way that the game has got in the second half, there's the potential for things to get a little bit more heated. There's a long ball here from Hume, who reaches Ballard, it's cleared to the edge there. Lefay then goes for goal, charged down by Chris Wood. Lefay was saying there was a handball, the referee's not interested, it was outside the box anyway, and now Williams clears it over the halfway line, and that will be chased all the way by Dominguez. In fact, he's the furthest forward now in this particular attack, but it goes back to Robin Rose, who then clears it to the halfway line. There's a collision on the halfway line. Alderete is down holding his face. Well, John said it before, just before Ryan Yates came on, that he's a red card waiting to happen, and potentially there might be something for VAR to look at.
Well, let's take a look at it. Yates goes up.
In fairness, he gets pushed by Ballard, that's the first thing.
He does. Does he fling an arm out? Well, you don't know what to look at, really. I think he jumps into him, shoulder right into his jaw.
Do you think he's almost used the excuse of the push from Ballard just to elevate himself a bit more?
Yeah, I think so. He's a rugged character. I think he's loving the fact that he's gone into a rough and tumble game, you know, and he's enjoying it. And then he had a little set two with Dan Ballard, but well, here come Forest.
They do, yeah. He's Forest through and through, as well as Ryan Yates from the city of Nottingham himself. Big Forest fan is, he'll be delighted that things are looking so much better for his club in terms of Premier League survival chances. And here is Yates on the ball. He's got a runner down the right hand side. The cross comes in. It's an overhit cross, though. No chance for anybody in a Forest shirt to get on the end of it. Wood does his best to at least keep it in play. No, he has to play it back to the halfway line where Anderson was there. Anderson wanted the ball back from Morato, but the Brazilian prefers to go back towards the goalkeeper Matt Sells, who's immediately being closed down here by Noah Sadiki, but he finds Milenkovic, and then he plays it up to the halfway line. The game's just starting to open up a little bit now. It's getting a little bit less congested in midfield, where Dominguez finding Williams on the right-hand side. A chance to cross here. The ball just held up here by Gibbs White, who's moved over to that right-hand side since the substitutions. Yates in towards Gibbs White.
They don't know whether they want to go forward, do they, Forest? So they keep getting advanced, and you think it's all opening up, and then they just keep playing the ball back. And I guess that's it. I doubt we're going to see any more goals from them if they keep playing like that. But I think it's all actually opened up, and you know, if they had a bit more ambition there. I thought that Gibbs White was going to put a cross in, because actually he got a loaded box, but he didn't bother. They might as well have taken Wood off if that's what they're going to do.
No, I agree. I think that there's no surprise that they're taking off some of their main players, though. Forest just to try and give them that's really good control there from Isidore. Did really well to take that ball down from a height, but then the pass down towards Brian Robbie wasn't the best, just a bit overhit, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, disappointing night for Brian Robbie. They just haven't found the Dutchman. I think he's a cracking good striker, and you know, but he needs some kind of service. I don't know what they've been doing tonight, because I'm looking for a striker. Well, they haven't given him the ball. You know, if we're looking for cultured number 10 play, that hasn't happened. You know, yes, they've got workers in midfield, but they've been matched. And of course, they were an absolute mess at the back, weren't they? I mean, just little bits and pieces. However, their manager sets them out. He wasn't saying, "Oh, and don't forget, leave Jesus by himself at the far post." You know, and once that happened one time, you think, "Oh, come on, lads, let's sort it out." But they didn't. So, who are the leaders in this group? We know it's Granit Xhaka and Big Dan Ballard at the back, but it's all right, you know, sort of being a captain by dint of playing well. But sometimes you've got to talk to your colleagues about how you're going to sort things out and who's going to pick up. And somebody needs to be a leader. They've been lacking that leadership tonight.
They have. It's just been a little bit of a game at sea for them, unfortunately. It's just the wrong time of the season. But Sunderland now are trying to make a bit more of a statement here in terms of their midfield possession. Now Ballard going across towards Alderete. He then stands the ball up all the way to the edge of the area. But it's a hopeful ball. It wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. Nets now with a long clearance, hoists it up and under towards the halfway line, headed forward. And the chance again here for Sunderland down the right-hand side is with Lefay, gets it in towards Sadiki, back to Lefay, but then his pass is deflected away back to Xhaka. Hume now puts the ball over the top, it's headed down by Sadiki, but towards the edge of the area. Xhaka about 25 yards out, he wants to go for goal. Sells was unsighted, but the ball goes out for a goal kick, and Granit Xhaka absolutely furious with our referee. But over what, John? I mean, does he want a corner, and there's a slight deflection there? I mean, Ryan Yates was almost trying to provoke Xhaka even more. Gibbs White just trying to defuse the situation, but what is the problem then?
Well, if it's deflected, he didn't get what he wanted, but I just think he's having one of those nights. Let's take a look. Did it get a deflection? It might have creased off the back of Yates, who knows. But sometimes you get him, sometimes you don't. He's a passionate man and always likely to get carded. He always used to be, didn't he? And,
he did, but do you not think? I actually think that Darren England sort of preempted that yellow card a bit, because I don't actually think Xhaka even had a chance to swear at him, and he was already getting his yellow card out. It was almost like he decided that even that protest alone was going to be a booking. But this is great work in the middle. There's going to be a yellow card in now, surely, for Ryan Yates. I mean, the referee is going to have to show him a yellow card here. He got away with that collision earlier, but this time he was pulling back on the Sunderland man, and the referee couldn't ignore it.
Well, I tell you what, it's turned into a bad-natured thing. I think that Mukiele there really played for that. It's not a good challenge from Yates, but he flings a leg out Mukiele. It's like, oh, look what's happened to me. He really overdid it. But I would have put a bob or two on Yates to get booked anyway, but it was a sloppy way to do it.
Here's Xhaka now with the free kick. It's a short free kick played to Trey Hume, then back to Xhaka. Oh, he just miscontrolled that slightly. So he was forced to play that ball forward a little bit quicker than he would have liked. So the ball now on the right-hand side here with Enzo Lafay as well to hold this up. Turns away from Anderson, then puts a cross in, which is only partially cleared, and then it's fired towards goal by Alderete. That's, I think, the third time this evening that an effort has fallen to Steven Alderete. He's not like he hasn't got a good shot on him, but there are better players going for goal than him, and that one is lifted a long way over.
Yeah, it's still rising as it hits. Yeah, it's still rising as it hits the stand, isn't it? But it's one of those. He either taking the roof off the net right to the top corner or into the stand, and on the half volley, always very difficult to do that. They just can't get into the game, can they? Really, Forest fighting them, and it's all got very bitty. And of course, Forest now have gone in their shells a little bit with their formation. They're much more defensive minded, and also. They're still playing quite well, Forest, as well. When they have a chance to go forward, they've all onto the ball quite well. I say that, then they give it away.
They have given it away, and Isidor's charging into the penalty area. Still Wilson Isidore. Oh, he just holds onto it for too long, and it's Milenkovic just gets his body in the way before Anderson is there to help mop up. And then it's a long clearance from Aina over the halfway line to find Chris Wood, where he's got Dan Ballard all over his back, trying to turn. He wants to throw. He's not going to get it. It's gone Sunderland's way. Ballard takes it immediately, gets it into Alderete, who almost lunged into Dominguez there. As my colleague rightly says, the game is just starting to have a little bit of a sort of a nasty side to it. Both sides getting a little bit physical here as Forest, Sunderland. I'm not even sure who started it really. I think Forest probably came out with a little bit more of a sort of a physical approach into the second half, and Sunderland, with the scoreline being what it is, they don't want to be taking that at home, so they're going to try and come back as well as Milenkovic and Milenkovic and Brobby there. Getting all over each other, and I think that's just gone out for a corner, but Brobby wants more than that.
I think that there's a combination of factors, really.
He is having the shirt ripped off his back there, to be fair.
He is, and that should have been a foul. I think that, Sunderland going at half-time when they said, right, we're going to need to fight, we're going to need to show passion. And for Forest, it's like saying, if they want to get physical, well, we don't mind, because that's going to be a load of free kicks. So the corner kick comes in, then it's dealt with, and Metz gets the ball away. So the more free kicks, the more time off the clock, and we'll buy into that, and we'll fight and waste time as much as they want. So I think they're quite happy with that as well.
Yeah, I think there's a side to that that's very true. Is that a ball was whipped into the penalty area, it was headed out. It's a throw now on the right-hand side. Mukiele launches it in. It's partially cleared by Anderson before it's hooked clear by Gibbs White. Renildo is one of the last men back for Sunderland. Goes out towards the right-hand side for Granit Xhaka. To Mukiele now, he holds it up and back to Trey Hume. Hume then in towards Renildo. Some options left and right, but now Trey Hume lifting this one into the penalty area. Just gets away from Aina. Oh, and it was half a chance there, and then Milenkovic lunges in. Sunderland might be after a penalty kick here. The man who's injured has just got hit by the ball from his own teammate there. But the Black Cats aren't putting out because they want to carry this attack on. It's back with Renildo again. He lifts it into the penalty area. Matt Sells comes out. He makes the save, and now Alderete can be checked out.
Yeah, so he's rolling around screaming in agony, and then his own player boots the ball at him. But what happened to him? He got shot on by Milenkovic. And could that be a penalty? Because he.
Well, I mean, VAR would look at that. I mean, whether or not it's. We'll have to wait and see whether they are having a think about it. While they're having a think about it, we finally got a goal in the other game. It's Leicester 1, Millwall 0. So Leicester already relegated, just causing a bit of an issue there for Millwall, because Millwall will now be level on points with Ipswich, but Ipswich have got 2 games in hand.
Yeah, I was looking at the stats of that, and Millwall were all over them, weren't they, in the first half? And so I don't know how that's happened. But I don't know how it's happened to Leicester full stop. I keep looking at the team they put out, and it's just full of players who played okay in the Premier League, and you think, well, that ought to be good enough, you know.
Well, I'll just read that. I mean, as I say, we're just getting back underway here, but Stolarczyk in goal, then it's Chowdhury, Sutar, Vestergaard, Thomas, Skip, Winks, Fatawu, Mukasa, Dickeldova, Reed and Daka. I mean, more than half of those players, I think, will be pushing for a Premier League squad place now. But yeah, it's completely gone wrong for them, and yeah, 3rd tier football for Leicester City next season. 10 years after they won the league, and it is incredible. And to think of the similarities as well in terms of Spurs playing their second last game of the season away to Chelsea, and of course 10 years ago that was the game that they ended up losing to Chelsea, which gave Leicester the title. And now, of course, that could be the game that relegates Spurs. But the way their opponents in the relegation battle are doing, including Forest, of course, it may well be that Spurs are gone by then anyway. But here comes Sunderland now with Isidore pushing on down the left-hand side into the penalty area, but it's Morata with the clearance. And it's certainly a better half for Sunderland in terms of attacking possession, but that's partly down to the fact that Forest are tolerating it as well.
Yeah, it's right. And even when they attack Forest, they end up going backwards, don't they? So we thought we'd see a reaction. Sometimes you get that, don't you? Free scoring first half, and then everything shuts up shop second half. You know, the team that were poor improve, the team that score the goals don't need to do anything, and all they do then is defend, which is pretty much what's happened here. So yeah, you could almost have predicted it, really. You never quite know with football, but here comes Sunderland again. They're trying they try at least to get something going. They've shown a lot of spirit in this second half, but they're at home, so and they're a good team, and you'd expect them to do that.
No, absolutely. I think Reggie Lebris must have said to them, you've got to remember that. But the cross comes in, it's headed down here by Brom. It might still be half a chance. The ball is only partially cleared, and it's Ballard keeps it alive, goes back towards Siddiqui, and it's Hume with the strike. It deflects into the path of Siddiqui. Again, he tries to go for goal before Lefay tries to get involved, but the ball is then cleared back into midfield, where Xhaka keeps it alive here for Sunderland. Goes out towards Siddiqui on the right-hand side now. It's with Enzo Lefay. A player just in front of him couldn't get the cross in, and there's a good challenge from Dominguez, no foul, and now it's a ball down the left-hand side here for Gibbs White to chase. If he has some runners with him, he can start a counter-attack, but they're slow in arriving. Now there's some support down the right-hand side in the form of Nico Williams. Woods is heading into the middle. Wood wants the ball into the middle. The cross comes in. It's Alderete who gets in the way of it, and then Isidore is back. He's put in a good shift, actually. Isidore has been full of running since he's come on. That's what you want from a forward player when he comes on as a sub, just to really sort of make the opposition think about what he's doing, and he's certainly trying to do that.
Yeah, there are no shortage of effort second half, but and we're seeing Granit Xhaka, you know, passionate and trying to get on the ball. Same for Dan Ballard. They're sort of leading by example, but what we talked about was communication was missing in the first half, and it's always going to be difficult to come back from 4 goals down, you know. So yeah, they've made a rod for their own back, but you know, they'll watch the video on it, and it'll be a horror show for the defence, and about the communication, and also about how they're set up for this game. Sometimes you know, you might expect the opposition to be playing in a different way, but you've got to quickly readjust. And if they didn't think they were going to play against Igor Jesus tonight, well, they'd think again, and now they know all about him, don't they? And he would be the man of the match, even though he's long departed.
I wouldn't argue with that. I think he had an excellent performance, and good work there at the edge of the Forest penalty area from a combination of Anderson and Dominguez, and then clear their lines up towards Chris Wood, but he couldn't control that ball. Just a little bit too high for him. Renildo's just behind, and he plays it forward for Siddiqui. Sunderland trying again. Siddiqui into the penalty area. Brobby well marshalled though by a combination of Aina and Milenkovic, and then just enough on that one for Milenkovic to then get a clearance. Wood was clearly shoved in the back there by Ballard, but the referee just seems to be allowing that little bit more physicality at times. It's now with Xhaka over towards Renildo, back towards Granit Xhaka. He's being closed down, but he plays this one forward in towards Lefay.
It's a really slow, steady move to the exits now for some of the fans.
Yes, I mean, as I say, of course, there'll be those that never, ever forgive anyone leaving early. I'm not quite in that camp, I have to say. I think sometimes it's, you are entitled to leave whenever you like because you paid your money. And at the end of the day, if you don't feel that your team are doing enough, then why should you have to spend an extra half an hour in traffic if you can get a bit of a head start? I don't have a problem with that. I think that it's a personal thing as well. I think from Sunderland's point of view, their fans are always there in numbers. They always sell out their away allocations, so it's not as if the players can complain that the fans aren't committed. But it does. I see what you're saying, though. Of course, it doesn't look great when you have fans making their way to the exits whilst the game's still going on. As a shot comes in from just outside the box, it was an effort there from Isidore. As I say, he's been busy since he's come on. He turns quickly and fires, but it was always straight at Matt Sells. Yeah,
we've seen this season, haven't we? The FA Cup quarter-finals at the London Stadium. It was that West Ham fans had all drifted off and thought they were done and dusted, and then they wouldn't let them back in, would they, when they got to extra time? Some of them had gone, wanted to get back in, and then they couldn't, and a few had to drift back in, traipsed out, traipsed back in. Particularly when they put 11 minutes on the board, you never quite know how much time they're going to put.
No, that's true. And in the end, in that game, it was West Ham that got through in the end after that appalling Panenka penalty from Adango Otara. Interesting enough, I was actually on commentary when Sunderland lost away to Brentford, and on that occasion it was Lefebvre that tried a ridiculous penalty down the middle and just lobbed it up straight into Kelleher's hands.
Yeah, I think Panenkas are out, aren't they? It's only for the fact that if you miss, it looks so ridiculous, doesn't it? When you score, nobody cares anyway.
Well, there was a study done a couple of years ago. I think it was like a sports science PhD student that analysed thousands of penalties around the world, and they found that more than half of the penalties taken in that 2-year period when they did it were all going down the middle. As I break off from that, though, because the chance is Lefebvre with the strike, and that's a really good save there. From Matt Sells. It was just slow, steady possession in midfield. We were going off on all sorts of tangents, and then suddenly the ball deflected towards the edge of the area. Lefebvre takes it down on the chest, one bounce, and then he absolutely slams it towards goal, but it's also a great one-handed save.
I think that might be the only save he made of any note tonight.
Certainly a tip, parrying the ball other than just catching an easy shot or a cross. He's had very little work to do in terms of diving for the corners this evening, has Matt Sells, but here comes the corner kick, whipped in a pace by Lefebvre. It stops inside the 6-yard box. Alderete on the deck, couldn't get a shot away in the end, and then it's just launched over the halfway line. Anywhere will do for Forest now, just to get that ball away to try and maintain that clean sheet. We're into the last 3 minutes of the regulation 90. There's going to be 4 or 5, if not more, minutes added onto this half, though, with that very long VAR stoppage we had for the Sunderland goal.
An injury as well. So.
Yeah, injuries as well, yeah. So I'm thinking 6 or 7 maybe even, despite the fact that it is 4-0. As Mukiele now moving towards the edge of the area. That's a really poor ball, though. It's easily cut out. Although the first thought there from Nico Williams was just to run 10 yards and stop. He could have actually easily carried on going forward. He's then challenged as well by Enzo Lefebvre, and it's out for a throw to Forest, even though Williams probably wants more than that. Yeah,
they're going to make another change now. One is coming on for Wood.
Yeah, one player who's spent a lot of this time injured is going off. He's being replaced by another one.
Yeah, I think Chris Wood's the man, isn't he? And he showed that tonight. He was cool and calm when he got his chance. It was an easy effort, left foot, just a little dab in, chipped it around the keeper. Caused calamity on himself, playing the ball out from the back. But Wood was alive to it. That's the thing. He takes his chance when it comes. He was brilliant, wasn't he, last season? His goal-scoring ratio was absolutely fantastic. And one year, I think, is more hit and miss, and he's been more missed lately, hasn't he? But he's only coming back from injury as well.
He is, yeah, absolutely. He's had a tough time of it as well in terms of other players getting in ahead of him and having all those injury problems. And as you said, even if both him and Wood were fit, even before Vitor Pereira, Wood was the main man, and I don't see anything different now under the Portuguese manager. Oh, there's going to be a free kick here at the edge of the area. Milenkovic, no, there isn't. The referee felt that arm pull from Milenkovic wasn't enough to give a free kick.
I thought it might have been, and then I thought the issue was whether he was last man or not. But we'll take another look at it. He's got hold of him, he's got hold of his shirt, he pulls him back.
But the way that Robbie falls is a little bit unnatural, so it may well be. Yeah, I mean, I actually think the shirt pull earlier was worse than that one.
I think it's a free kick, though. I think he held on too long there, and maybe it was blindsided the referee So he got away with that, but it's a foul. There's no doubt it's a foul. And, you know, for Brobby, just frustrated. If the referee he's not seeing things like that, then he needs help from his assistant. Whether he's on the right side of that or that, I don't know. But yeah, Brobby there just getting hauled back, pulled by his arm really, and it should have been a free kick.
Should have been. I think the referee needed to have had another good. Well, the referee should have seen that really from his angle in any case. But the ball out for a throw now to Sunderland on the right hand side. And, Trey Hume waiting to take this one. He leaves it here for Noddy McKelly, but it's taking a long time for Sunderland. That's why it's taking a long time for Sunderland to restart play, because it wasn't a Sunderland throw. It's Forest that are dawdling now in terms of taking this throw on. Now, just as they're about to take the throw, Forest wanted to make a change, but the referee is saying no, you have to wait until he goes out and play again. We've seen that trick before as Awadi now holds this one up. And the fourth official now confirming, was that a 7 I just saw there? Yes, it is. 7 minutes in a game where it's 4-0. But here come Sunderland now through the middle. That ball out to Brobby, though, is just a little bit too far wide. He should just about keep that in play. Deflects it off, and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, Reggie Lebris looks on. He won't be thrilled about tonight. It's one he'd rather draw a line under, but I'm afraid they're going to have to look at it, pick the bones out of it, because it was just too bad. You know, they need to work things out on the hoof really. You know, what they say, plans are what you make when life's happening around you, and you know they set the stall out, but they didn't do it particularly well, and sometimes you've got to do it on the hoof. Anyway, the ball into the box there, but the referee spotted a little foul, and play stops. Everybody's moaning a bucket at Darren England tonight. He pretty much has stamped down on that. Oh, Millwall have got a goal back.
Yes, Millwall have equalised in the first minute of added time at the King Power Stadium. So, as I say, Leicester City already relegated. Couldn't even hold on to that game, unfortunately, for their fans to at least get a win at home before the end of the campaign. For Millwall's points, they've got 8 minutes of added time as well. So our colleagues on commentary for that game are going to have a little bit of additional time to deal with there as well. But from Millwall's point of view, they really want to win that game to put a bit more pressure on Ipswich and still have the 2 games in hand.
They've been good this season, Millwall. I think they've made some very astute signings, the likes of Bannon coming in and what have you. But yeah, they look a lot better.
The manager as well, Alex Neil, he knows that division very well, and that's only meant as the highest praise. It's not obviously supposed to be a put down in terms of the Premier League. It is an incredibly difficult league to navigate, and also obviously thinking ahead, if Spurs were to get relegated, Roberto De Zerbi, would he be the best man for the job? Have they got everything in place to just support him? I'm sure the Spurs directors are thinking overtime about all that sort of stuff now. But back to action here at Stadium of Light. Long ball into the penalty area from Mukiele, is headed away and is cleared to the halfway line. Awani is chasing that one. He gets there ahead of Ronaldo, then he deflects the ball off. That's good play in the end there from the Nigeria international, because it just takes Forest further up the field.
Yeah, and
that should be a throw to Forest. Oh, ref. We clearly, Awani as well. Awani knew what he was doing. He was chasing that ball and he deliberately flicked it off Ronaldo to win his side a throw in the attacking third, and the officials completely missed it.
Yeah, they've not been great tonight, have they? I feel he's not seen a lot. He doesn't seem to be up with play all the time, does he? But anyway, I don't think it's easy.
No, it's not. I mean, as I say, speaking to one of our colleagues who referees junior football, he won't be doing that again after the incident last weekend. But in any case, it's just one of those things that the referee, I think he's had a much harder second half. I think that the 2 sets of players haven't made it easy for the referee in the second half, as we can see. Vitor Pereira getting very frustrated, and here is the Forest manager again, who is March and April manager, based on that stat we just saw there. His points ratio in those 2 months compared to the others is more than double of any other month.
Yeah, they obviously like spring, like myself. But yeah, he'll be really proud.
Never worry though when a football season normally takes 9 months.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the rest of the months, but obviously doesn't like the winter. But yeah, I think he's done tremendously well. Clearly, he set them out really well tonight. You know, I think I like the idea of 2 strikers against the team who play out from the back, and that really paid dividends as well. The fact that they didn't seem to think that they were going to play like that, and that Jesus was maybe given free rein. Quite how Sunderland can expect to do well by leaving a striker marked at the far post is beyond me. But here's the one year now, an opportunity for him.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of icing on the cake here for Forest. The ball played all the way to the edge of the area. Oh, there's just too many Forest players in front of it. Now Dominguez gets it into Awani, who finds Anderson, and there is a 5th goal. And at least those Forest fans have a goal right in front of them, way up in the skies there where you have the away end. They've got their steps in this evening to get to those seats, those Forest fans, but they'll be delighted now because with 2.5 minutes of injury time to play, it's Sunderland 0, Forest 5.
I tell you what's funny about that is that I kept expecting the defenders to appear, they never did. And then it's like after you, there were so many Forest players there just tapping the ball around in little triangles at the edge of the box. I thought this can't last forever, and it virtually did. And then eventually Anderson, oh, right, okay, no, well, I've got it lined up now, and he just slams it in, and that would make it, I think, their best and most comfortable victory this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Anderson enjoyed that, of course, with his Newcastle connections as well. I'm sure he'll be very pleased to get a goal at the Stadium of Light on Weir's side. And a good play there from Awani, because with 4-0 up in injury time, he could have tried to have forced a shot towards goal himself, but he saw his teammate in a better position there.
Yeah, absolutely. He in that move, he must have touched the ball about 5 or 6 times at 1 year, so he played his part and played well.
I mean, looking at that, I think he was probably hoping he might be able to run onto that ball himself, but the touch was a little bit heavy. Maybe I'm doing him a little bit of a disservice there, but he's got number 9 on his back, so if there's half a chance for him to go for goal, I don't have a problem with it. But
I tell you what, you said the straw that breaks the camel's back there is the former Newcastle man scoring the goal, doesn't it? And nothing had emptied the stands out more than that, but they were half empty anyway. There's still 2 minutes left, but the game's long gone, and they've even won the second half, Forest, and I think they probably could have scored more goals on the counter-attack if they'd have wanted this second half.
Yes, they could have, but at the same time, you say to Forest before the game, you're going to win 5-0, they'll take that, whichever way it's happened. Would they have liked to have scored 6, 7 or 8 this evening? Well, yes, but then that might have been a little bit too much, and then it might have taken a little bit of the intensity off the next couple of games, and they've still got some really big games to play this season, have the Tricky Trees, so it was important for them just to maintain that level of level-headedness, I think, but we can see it's arguably a Forest fan behaving like somebody from the northeast, taking his shirt off there to just to celebrate another great goal there from Elliot Anderson, and just to remind you as well, of course, Forest play against Aston Villa at home, and that will be the game next Thursday night in the Europa League for the return leg down the road in Birmingham a week later. Chelsea to come as well. As Forest away to Chelsea, I should say, on the 4th of May in between those 2 games. So a big week coming up here for Vitor Pereira's side. We've had the full 7 minutes of added time now, so it's just a question of whether Darren England wants to add any more time on. And he looks at his watch and he calls time, and it's a wonderful win for Forest, and it's a night to forget here for Sunderland. They just never got going, and Forest absolutely ruling the roost in the first half and getting the job done in the second as well. It's finished here at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 5. Thank you very much for joining us.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result,